Dear listeners, today is 18th April 2020. Myself, Professor Anup Dave, would like to share few thoughts about public health, its history and planning of the cantonment towns in video part 2. I am thankful to all of you for liking the part 1, and now we are in part 2. Dear viewers, at some point of time, every one of you must have visited the cantonment towns. The most impressive part to the visit of any cantonment town is the cleanliness, the wide roads, avenues with big trees, open parade grounds, huge colonial bungalows set in the vast compounds, and many other colonial buildings like church, clubhouses, etc. In this low density development, cleanliness and openness are two basic design considerations. As in part 1 I had said, health of the army was a prime concern for the British Crown. Now, at this point, let me tell you an important medical reference, because in this video we are trying to relate the development in the medical science and the understanding and the research about the diseases and the spread of the diseases and its effect on the town planning. So, till 1880, scientists and physicians of Europe believed that the main cause of epidemic like cholera and black death is miasma, M-I-A-S-M-A, which literally means bad air with foul smell. The germ theory of transmission of infection diseases was developed around 1880, and the main two scientists were Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Till that time, between 1765 and 1864, Britishers had built 55 major cantonments across the Indian subcontinent. Now you imagine these 52 cantonments which were built on the principle of maintaining the proper hygiene and proper air ventilation, and which was the key based on the theory of the bad air called miasma. Now, the most important part, that while selecting the site for the cantonment, it was very important, and the main idea was to keep the site of cantonment away from the miasma, the bad air which is coming from the existing Indian towns which were closely packed, and most of them were almost medieval towns of India. Even with doing the research, the Britishers, they scrapped the old design of the barracks. The old design were unhygienic, dark barracks, dingy, and not properly ventilated. The first time the idea was mooted that we should consider the volume of the barrack per soldier, and the Britishers and their engineers, military engineers, they started designing the barracks in India considering 1200 cubic feet requirement per one British soldier. Now, main concern is health of the British Army for the British Empire. Whenever you visit the cantonment, the most striking feature is a bungalow. Now, these bungalows are very spacious with verandas all around and with staff quarters and other related paraphernalia. And each bungalow is set up in minimum 1 acre of compound, and there is a vast space between the two bungalows, so it can have the proper light and ventilation and tree plantation. Another important factor is that with the development of the cantonment, simultaneously the civil lines and Sadar bazaars also developed in the vicinity of the cantonment towns. And even the civil lines had huge colonial bungalows for the servants of the British Crown and privileged Indians who were connected, doing trade and business with the British Crown and the British rulers. So, the town planning of the cantonment is very closely connected with the ideas of the epidemic and the development of the medical science and theories of the infectious disease transmission. So, eventually, these ideas which were applied in the design of the cantonment were eventually developed into a mature model, and this model of the town planning were made applicable to the newer development of the suburbs of the historic towns of India. And in part 3 we will talk about the early phase of the town planning under the British rule in princely India. Thanks for listening to my video. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma.